Hello, everybody. This is George Haig, and I'd like to welcome you to the 43rd Annual Sacramento Autorama. We're going to take you on a trip of 11 buildings here at the State Fairgrounds in Sacramento, an event that has spanned the generations, where families come and friends meet and old acquaintances are brought together. And it's an exciting show with feature cars such as the 57 Chevrolet of Boyd Coddington, Shazoom feature car in Hot Rod Magazine, the Mickey Thompson 4-engine land speed record holder. We have Steve McQueen's Allard sports car and 47 Indian motorcycle, which he drove all over the countryside. We have club displays. We have hundreds and hundreds of customs and rods, race cars on display here. It's a big 5-day show, and we'd like to give you a front row seat of this magnificent extravaganza, which encompasses nostalgic cars, state-of-the-art cars, motorcycles, and boats. Customs, one of the favorite cars here at the Autorama, has grown and evolved over the years. And this year, I think we offer not only the traditional custom of the past, the 48, 49, 50 Mercury, but I think a state-of-the-art car that was built and for the first time shown here at Sacramento, the beautiful Cadillac Seville of Bill Reisner. Folks are talking that he has broken new ground. He's got into late model customs, and maybe we're going to see more of these newer vintage cars out on the show circuit. Customizers start working on the newer cars rather than the old customs. Two of the longtime custom participants here at the Autorama are Richard Zoki and John DiAgostino. Every year they bring a new custom to the show. Richard Zoki's entry this year is a 57 Dodge that he has taken a car that probably wasn't real popular even when it was new and has made it into this beautiful custom that he has displayed here at the show this year. And right alongside is a candy apple red Cadillac of John DiAgostino's. And John and Richard both every year bring out a brand new custom at this show. And John has brought this Cadillac candy apple red. He kind of took what Cadillac started and really refined it. And I tell you, it is probably one of the most beautiful 57 Cadillacs I've ever seen. The best part of custom cars is there is no guidelines. They're always changing. It's the builder's imagination is what makes that car so different. It's a work of art that reflects his attitude, his way of thinking, his color preference. The custom will never die because it's up to the builder's imagination to make it as wild or as conservative as he would want to build it. And just when you think you've seen everything there is in a custom, a builder comes by and changes the whole complexion of what customizing and custom cars are all about. And we're proud to bring those innovations to the fans here at Sacramento. Custom or custom vehicle doesn't just apply to the big lead sled, as they're called. It can follow over to the rods. In fact, some of the rods now are starting to French in the lights or recess the license plates. They're starting to smooth the sides. And so the custom trends kind of move over to some of the rods and other vehicles. Even street machines now are starting to take in some of that taking off the door handles. That may be all they do, but that's part of a custom trend here. And I'm really happy to see that we have a good mix.
There is so much to see here. They have such a variety of everything that is just unbelievable. They have so much space and so many buildings. You got 11 buildings, every building and all the equipment they got in there. There's so much indifference. It's unbelievable what they have. I mean, you can't go nowhere else in the state of California. I've been to every show that there is. You can't get the coverage like they got here because they have, number one, they have the room, they have the facilities to take and put different type of equipment like motorcycles in one group in there, and all the other club members in different buildings, and then all the customs and roadsters, pickups, whatever you want to see are spread within the other 9 buildings. So it's very, very hard to beat. I don't think it'll ever be beaten. I think the whole thing sums it up in just one word, no matter what it is, the love that you have for it. That's the most important thing. You have to love what you're doing then to make the creation of whatever you're building. That's what makes it perfect. We have the finest customizers from one end of California to the other. We're very, very fortunate to have the best actually customizers that do this work professionally than anywhere in the whole entire United States, right here in California. I'm surprised every time I walk into a building. I put more hours. I start from the day of setup until trophies are actually being presented to the people that are won their awards. And I never get enough of it. I have walked this same particular floor right here. If I haven't went through it 10 times, I haven't went through it once. You'll be surprised. The more you walk, the more you'll see. You'll never see it the first time, but you have to study your artwork. You just don't walk through it and just glance and see colors. You're looking at artwork. And if you appreciate it, you have to take your time in order to enjoy it. And that's the love that we got, and that's the drive we got.
Well, everything I've seen so far, I just love. I really like the custom cars. Everybody's got a personality in every one of their cars, you know? It just takes... not every custom car is the same. It's not something you can go down and just buy. You can't just get it off the shelf. That's something you have to do yourself. And I think that's the thing I like the most. And everything here has been great. The people have been great. Everybody's been really nice. Yeah, it has been.
Magic of cars is to build something of your own. Put the car in a show and see if you can do better than the next person. And if you can, you'll try again next year to make it better. And that's the whole story, just the love of working on a car, trying to create it different. I've been creating them for, 40, 50 years. And I'm still creating them. I got 10 at home right now. I'm creating. The payoff is the big thrill, the satisfaction. Oh, I did it again. And it just gets in your blood.
I didn't know what to expect, but it's interesting. I don't know. I think I was surprised. I didn't know people chopped cars up and made interesting looking vehicles out of them.
Well, I like it because it's more spread out. We have time to walk around and enjoy the scenery. And there was grass we could sit on and shade.
Shade, yeah, and not crowded. It's a big enough operation that you can't get crowded, really.
You got everything. It's well-rounded. You got things for the kids. They had some races, little car racing, and I think boats, and they had the food and the music, and they enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
It's a real custom show. Lots of custom cars here, along with all the rods, street rods, boats, motorcycles. But this is really a custom show. Some of the cars that we've got here are some of the Sam Barris cars, the George Barris cars, the cars from Bill Reisner, some of the big-time customizers are from the Northern California area.
I don't know where they get their idea. They're movie makers, what they really are. They just missed their calling.
Yeah, it's just, as I said, it's just advanced along with all the other technology. I mean, it's just, the suspension and the quality metals and just the hours and hours of time. The detail. You look at this, the hours and the days and the months that go into something like this.
Some of these things are just absolutely unreal. The workmanship, the time, the patience and the dedication that these people put into some of these cars, just I can't believe it.
And this show, first of all, it's more relaxing. It's more comfortable. There are more buildings, and there's more room to show more cars. The atmosphere is better. It seems like all the people up here are great people. And to be honest with you, Dean, I have to say that the Sacramento show, Sacramento Autorama, with that Baggy started years and years ago, as you know, is probably, I would say, the top show on the circuit in California, bar none. And I mean that with all my heart. Sam Barris was the older brother of George Barris, who grew up in the Roseville area here near Sacramento. And together they have built some of the finest customs ever produced out of the Barris shops in Los Angeles. When Sam died, the family that wanted to have an award that would signify the custom work that Sam was known for, the best metal work and paint on a vehicle. Sam was the older brother of George and sort of the quiet one, I guess, in the family. They started customizing when Sam was just 14 years old. They took their mother's 25 Buick and did some paint and striping work on it, and thus the first Barris Custom. And has grown into one of the great legends, was the first customizer to actually chop a top on a 49 Mercury. George Barris, as you know, Sam's brother, told me, he says, David, this has got to be the greatest 51 Mercury to ever been customized in the history of Mercuries. There isn't one panel on this car that hasn't been reworked and revamped. This Mercury has a door that dog lays and slopes and comes down like a waterfall, if you can notice that at all. The top was chopped, and we had problems at the top because it wasn't long enough to fit the car, the contour of the car. We had to lengthen it 6 inches. The deck lid was kind of short, so we had a section of deck lid because it looks like a ski slope. And it's got scoops in the hood, and it's got the V shaped in the front and the roof line that comes all the way down into the grill. The grill alone is solid steel plates, over 90 hours in the grill, Dean. And it all comes and all flows together. It's an exquisite car. Sheer Passion was born when I met Bill Reisner, and him and I teamed up, and I told Bill, I says, Bill, you got a great car here. I want a Merc of the 90s, never to be done before. And he says, Dave, let's go. And it was 3 years of bliss and agony together.
A custom car is a vehicle that someone takes and has all the designs of what they want it to look like, and just starts cutting away and adding to it, taking pieces off, adding back on, and fender skirts, fender flares, custom headlights, removing ornamentation on the hood, trunk, door handles, changing the side trim like I did on this one. I'm running 53 Buick side trim on it. I was at a car show in Novato, and a guy and his wife walked by, and they said, wow, look at that, cotton candy. You can almost take a bite out of the hood. And then from there on, everybody said, hey, cotton candy, and I just stuck with it. Hi, I'm Marv Giambastiani from Novato, California, and this is my Cotton Candy 50 Merc chopped Carson top.
Detail. Look at the doors, hoods, fit, headlights. New ideas. You know, a lot of new ideas on how to modify this and put certain things in there. Really is nice.
I think it's just a great feeling. I mean, you know, it's something that you always wanted, that you're different than anybody else. And I mean, it's I really love driving a car. We built it as more or less as a tribute to the Barris brothers. They built the original one. We copied this car, and we copied it clear down to the license plate of Bob Hirahata. This car here especially, I think, started bringing customs back around again. And I think the tribute to Sam Barris is probably, you know, that's why we're all here. We came 2,000 miles for this award, and it's quite an honor to be just asked to come out here. So, I mean, I really appreciate being invited to it.
Well, they call the Oakland Roadster Show the granddaddy for the roadsters. I'll say Sacramento is a granddaddy for the customs. Great. Well, it was designed by a friend of mine by the name of M.K. Johns, a guy by the name of Merlin Berg done all the body work on it, and a guy by the name of Jim McFall done the interior. It was a four-door special. It was left in my family by my grandmother, left to me, and we went ahead and made a two-door. It's got 67 modifications. I don't think you want to hear them all. So we had it out here in 1989. We won the Sam Barris. We've drove it to several shows. Probably since 1989 to now, we probably put close to 20,000 miles on the ground on it. Well, it makes me feel proud to be part of the family and to be involved in the Sam Barris Award. I read about him in school books when I should have been studying. I was reading the Rotten Custom. I read about all those people and Sam and everything, and now he was one of my legends then, and now I'm a part of him, it feels like. My name's Ray Bozarth.
One of the highlights of the Sacramento Autorama is the Sam Barris Award winners. These are previous award winners. We've assembled 10 cars from all over the country, from as far away as Kansas City and all over California. These cars represent the best metal and paintwork that the Sam Barris Memorial Award is named for. The Sam Barris Award is not restricted to hot rods and customs. Here we have a typical example of what the Sam Barris Award is all about. This was a 67 Cadillac that was completely modified and changed into a pickup truck back in 1969 by Elmer Hubacher of Hubacher Cadillac here in Sacramento. He built this car as a parts truck for his Cadillac dealership. Standing majestically behind the Sam Barris trophy is this 1940 Ford sedan, which belongs to Dick Falk of Concord, California. And the beautiful candy apple red paint, a one-of-a-kind 40 Ford sedan, the 73 Barris Award winner.
Yeah, the engine's 327. Pistons down in the hole, 1/8 inch for low compression. Has a steel crank, has a 194 Chevy heads, and has a 671 Jimmy blower bolted to the crankshaft. And if you look down in there, you can see the two Webers side draft, and then they feed up those tubes into the intake manifold, and then that feeds the cylinders. You know, the roof is a 57 Buick roof, chopped 3 inches. The body has been sectioned from 2.5 inches in the rear to 5 inches in the front at an angle. It's got 62 Chrysler headlights. It has a hand-built frame, all finished just like the top, like you see it. The rear end, it has Jag suspension front and rear. The taillights are 59 Cadillac on the bottom, and the fins are just made out of tubing and sheet metal. The interiors, we started with some Mustang seats and cut them and made our own seats. And then in the back, we carved them out of wood and then had them upholstered. Won the Barris Award here, and I think in '83 is what the sign says. And I drove it for 2 years, so the 50 hot rod runs, you know, drive-in things, and then parked it for a while. And then they were talking about having this 25th year Barris Award, having all the cars come in like an anniversary, all the old cars. So I said, yeah, that sounds good. I'll just drag this Chevy out and shine it up a little bit. That's why we're here today.
I think it's a very good show this year. Lots of different kinds of cars. They're going into the classics. I like the hot rods better, but I can remember when the classics were regular drivers, and now they've done so much more to them that they're beautiful.
got to be a passion. And all the time and work that you do, it's got to be. You know?
Constant project. I got a constant project at home.
Yeah. Hey, you take so much pride in these cars. I mean, it's somebody's life sitting right there. It's great. Great stuff.
Half their fortune, too.
Really?
Well, I like the older cars. They weren't that old back when I had them, you know? It kind of makes me feel like I'm a lot older than I am.
One of the things that makes show promotion shows so unique are the way that the exhibitors display their cars. They will go to designers and even home decorators to design a display that will match their theme of their car, their colors. They really get into highlighting their work of art. It's like a masterpiece on a wall in a gallery, and we have it here with the motorsports, the automotive customizers, displaying their art here to the public. The car clubs here in the Sacramento area take great pride in their displays here at the Autorama. They spend months in the planning, and this year we have some great examples. The Classic Chevy Club has brought to us yet another fine example of restored 55, 56, and 57 Chevrolets and put them in a classic display. Another group that has got together and come up with something that accents their type of equipment, their type of cars that they love and enjoy. the Thunderbolts, the original club that started the Autorama with Harold Bagdasarian 43 years ago, has had a traditional club display here. And this year, I think they've outdone themselves with this beautiful garage scene with the gas pumps and the old cars, the cars that are under construction. Just one of the great-looking displays here at this year's car show. The GTO Car Club this year has really outdone themselves. They've gone from the jungle to the street with this unique jungle-like setting with the GTOs driving out of the jungle onto a street scene. And again, the GTO Club, just one of the many club displays here at the Autorama. Great care and pride and attention to detail in the exhibits. For instance, they may go after a movie theme where they even have the speakers from an old movie theater, or a drive-in scene where they actually have the food tray on the side of the car. It is just amazing how these cars are displayed, and how the owner-builder wants to accent that car in a certain way to fit it into the timepiece that car was built after.
We've come all the way from St. Ignace, Michigan, about 3,000 miles away from the Sacramento Autorama. This is my second visit, and Diane's first. These guys do a fabulous job out here. Baggy, who has become a very good friend of mine, the originator of this event now, Don Tagnotti. This is where it all happened, and this is what we're trying to recreate in Michigan with the custom cars and the hot rods. And this is custom car heaven. My second. It took me 51 years to come to California the first time, which was last year. And this is my second visit, and hopefully not the last. We love it out here. At this event in particular, you look around in this scope we're standing, we see rods, custom Corvettes, all different colors, body contours, shapes, designs. It's a wonderful mixture of the car hobby.
I don't know, but there's something here for everyone. There's a style, a color, a shape to appeal to everybody's senses, and I think it's a wonderful show.
Like I say, this is where I first started reading about custom cars in 1949. This is where it happened, and now it took me a long time to get here. But it's great, and I hope it's an annual trip for us.
Another one of the highlights of this year's show is the Testarossa limo that has been brought to us by Lanzar Sound. This is a 32-foot Testarossa limo that is decked out not only in the finest sound equipment available, but also the most luxury-minded person could get in this and just enjoy going down the road. It's got the bar, the comfortable leather seating. It is a one-of-a-kind.
It started out at a club meeting one night, two fellows arguing, each had a roadster, each one claimed the other one was better than the other one. Hey, let's have a little show, let the public pick it. And when we first started the shows 40 or 43 years ago, what you saw is what you got. I know we had cars in there that have upholstery. Either painted, they sprayed white foam on the glass or put tin foil. Never opened the trunk because it was full of garbage and polished cloths and oil. And never opened the hood because the engine was dirty. Now, you can eat off of these cars, especially ones that belong to the association, because they're being judged accordingly. If they don't open the deck lid on their car, they show the hood or door closed, they zero it out on those parts. That's why you see every car with the hood cracked, the deck lid open, because the judges will not open them.
The Sacramento Autorama has been a long-standing tradition here in the capital city. Baggy started the show back in 1950, and it's just grown. It started out 22 cars in a automobile dealership showroom downtown, and each year it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and now it's 11 buildings in Cal Expo. I mean, how much bigger can you go?
The fact that Sacramento is a show that when you're showing and showing around the country, and In some aspects, it's a little intimidating coming to Sacramento, especially after the Oakland Roadster Show, because you know that there's a lot of quality cars in the Sacramento area that just shoot all year long just to come out for one show, and that's Sacramento. So you never know what you're going to run up against as far as the competition goes. But there's a quality of cars and a quantity of cars, and like I say, good people. It's a tough combination to beat.